Late. Oh my god, I'm so late. Maybe I can still make it. 7 o'clock already. My friends are gonna kill me. I might as well not even go now. Hey, I remember that. Wait, do I remember that? Fox's Peter Pan and the Pirates. I feel like I've played this game before, but I don't remember anything about it. That's weird. That's so strange. I can't shake that feeling like I'm forgetting something. Maybe if we play the game, it'll jog my memory. How about we play some Peter Pan games? Peter Pan, a story that's been around for over 100 years. His first appearance was in a book titled The Little White Bird by Sir James Matthew Barrie. A couple of years after The Little White Bird's release, Barrie would go on to write another book titled Peter and Wendy, the story of a boy who can fly and never grows up and doesn't want to. He spends his never-ending childhood having adventures as the leader of a group of orphans, interacting with mermaids and Indians. One of his favorite pastimes has always been fighting pirates, namely the infamous Captain Hook. Peter Pan is easily one of the most acknowledged and recognizable children's stories of the past century, truly helping to unlock the imaginations of kids and adults alike. If there's one thing that I do remember, it's that there's a lot of Peter Pan games out there. So let's get started with Fox's Peter Pan and the Pirates. Fox's Peter Pan and the Pirates is based off an episodic animated series of the same name. The 65-episode series aired in 1990 and only stuck around for a couple of years. It was...
like nothing you've ever seen in your life, Nibs!
Yeah. Nibs? Couldn't have picked some better tones?
Arr, I shall destroy the world you hold dear!
It's a duel to the death for Neverland! Yeah, you tell him, Peter. I could have gone out with friends. I made the choice to stay here and play video games. Okay, well, I have no idea what's happening already. I'm not gonna go ahead and call myself an expert in all things Peter Pan, but isn't generally Peter Pan wearing some sort of green tunic or leaves? I'm already getting a really bad feeling about this weapon. Just call it a vibe. I ain't gonna let this dinky dagger hold me back. On guard! What the falling spider? How are you even supposed to dodge that? I can't grasp this. If you stand still for too long, spiders just periodically drop from the ceiling. It's like the world's biggest sucker punch. You can't even stay still for a moment or you're gonna get hurt. Peter, watch out for traps! I can't be fooled by any grown-up tricks. Ha! Yeah, what do girls know? Now, I'm not gonna admit I was wrong. Yes, about 2 seconds after she tells you to watch out for traps, a trap gets Peter. But it's not as bad as you might think because getting trapped sends you to a bonus level? Yeah, suddenly you get an objective to collect as much treasure as you possibly can before getting sent back out to the main level. Pterodactyl! You know, I've never heard of traps being a good thing. I think by definition, in fact, they are not. Anyways, this game kind of takes more of a side-scrolling approach if you can't already tell. Essentially, you're just trying to go from left to right, avoiding as much damage as possible, collecting treasure, and trying to get to the end. That is a little bit harder than one would think, though. For one, the controls are terrible, even though there's only 2 buttons. Peter can jump around with the A button, and with the B button, he can use his dagger. Yeah, get shanked, brah. In true traditional Peter Pan fashion, he can also fly. And it's amazing. Kinda. Anytime you take damage, you actually lose treasure, which isn't necessarily a bad system. The treasure represents Peter's life. The problems start to creep in when you die, because when you die, you're sent back to the very beginning of the level, and none of the treasure respawns. That's actually a lot harder than I make it sound, because there's always so many obstacles to get around. You're always constantly being bombarded by pterodactyls and spiders. Oh, come on, it's impossible not to take damage. Look at this, it looks like I'm getting gangbanged by Grimace and a pterodactyl. Am I gonna die if I walk through this? I'm gonna risk it. Not my finest moment. This is the first level of the game! How is it so hard? Oh my god, finally, I think I've reached the end. One last jump! Yeah! Hook's pirates still rule Neverland. I'll return and win back the island? Wait, what? I didn't beat the level? Nope, as it turns out, you have to kill all the pirates before you can progress. That means I have to backtrack through the rest of the level and try not to take any damage. Which is impossible. The pirates themselves aren't too difficult. In fact, they're probably the easiest enemies in the game, but they keep constantly shooting it with bullets that you can't even dodge. Is that you, Tink? Save me from this horrible game. That's weird. This mushroom goes down when you jump on it. Should've guessed. The next levels in the game are all pretty similar. It's all pretty much the same thing. Go through the level, kill all the pirates, get to the end. Once you get used to the fact that the controls are pretty bad and the fact that you're going to take damage, getting through the rest of the game isn't too much of a problem. However, it's impossible not to notice that there were terrible choices made for this game. Like, why is crouching even in the game? You're pretty much the same size even if you're crouching or not, so what does it matter? Oh no, look out, there's a cannon about to shoot at me. I've gotta duck. Another problem I have is that they use the exact same levels with a different color scheme. Yeah. In fact, later in the game on these pirate ship levels, they just repeat the exact same level with no changes whatsoever. I thought my game was broken. What was I supposed to think? I'd just beaten a level and then it started me right back at the beginning. I thought I'd stumbled upon some corrupted endless loop that was just gonna keep me going forever. How exactly was I supposed to know that you have to beat the same level twice in a row? At least we're past all that and we're on the final level now. It's actually not as difficult as some of the earlier levels. The only real problem is that you're fighting with the controls the entire time. It's hard to make even the most simple jumps in this game. Half the time I'm trying to fly and then yeeted. I think this is supposed to be Captain Hook, even though I've seen this model and defeated it in other levels. Get wrecked, Captain Hook, I'm gonna push you off this ship. Well, that was easy. I win! It's so much fun being Peter Pan. Well, that didn't jog my memory. There is a lot more Peter Pan games out there, though. Maybe we just didn't go back far enough. How about a Peter Pan game for the Spectrum? Anytime now. Anytime now, it'll be done. I promise. Alright, here we go. The adventure begins! You have entered the children's bedroom. The window is to the north. There are 3 beds and an empty kennel in here. You can see a chest of drawers with a jug on it and a sewing box. You can see a bar of soap, a cracked jug, Wendy, and the boys. Okay, how about take bar of soap? You can't do that. Okay, how about talk to Wendy? You can't talk to Wendy. Good. Okay, let's try taking the soap again. Okay, for some reason that time it worked. We're getting somewhere now. Look at cracked jug. Okay, I guess I can't look directly at something. Take jug. Yeah, cracked jug. Use soap? Take Wendy. You can't take Wendy. Well, okay. Remind me again what's even happening. Describe? Story? Talk to Wendy? Look at Wendy? Look at the boys? Use soap on Peter? Help? Sorry, read the book? Oh, okay. Die. You can't. Well, should have expected that. Okay, well that didn't go exactly as I'd planned, but maybe there's another adventure game out there for the Peter Pan enthusiasts. Yeah, alright, graphics. What in the heck are those things at the bottom?
I'm Sally, the sassy sprayer.
Bonsoir, I'm the jazz man. My name's Winston. Hello, my name's Nick.
Hi. This game is essentially a storybook game for kids telling of one of Peter Pan's adventures.
Our adventure begins in a hidden cove on the coast of Neverland.
No way. I mean, it's not actually that bad of a game. It's a pretty silly game for kids, and it's even voiced and everything.
It's mine! The stolen treasure map!
Ah, what the? Essentially, the story just goes on by itself, but every minute or so there's a problem that you have to use one of these things at the bottom to solve. It's not exactly what you'd say hard to actually identify what you're supposed to be doing. Oh no! Great, my dinner's arrived.
G'day, mate.
Well, Nick really wants me to use him here, but let's use Winston. What the fuck? I mean, it's pretty much everything you'd expect from a children's storybook game. It's filled with tons of zany slapstick characters. I mean, for the type of game it is, it's not a bad game. Just by taking a quick look, you could probably surmise that this is a pretty silly experience. Hey, we finally have a game based on the Disney movie. Well, the sequel to the Disney movie. Return to Neverland. Yay. How about we go to the next game? Hey, I got another Peter Pan game here. Phoenix? Where have I seen that logo before? Oh no.
Where are you going, Lucy? Don't you want to play?
I do, but I'm hungry. I'll be right back.
Let's just give it the benefit of the doubt. It can't be that bad.
I would like to tell you the most beautiful story of my childhood. The adventures of Peter Pan. You know, I'm really glad we're going to the ball. None of the three children imagined that when it was getting dark and the stars started gleaming down in the sky, the hero of the story himself would creep up to their window and sit down on the sill. Gee, Peter, you really exist.
Gee, Peter, you really exist.
There was no end to the great joy. The kids couldn't believe that Peter Pan, whom they have known from fairy tales, has come to visit them.
How does something like this even exist? What do I even say? Just look at it.
I demand that you immediately release Tiger Lily. Otherwise, wasn't I right? I challenge you to a fight. Set her free. No, I won't. Don't give in, Peter. Suddenly, on the horizon there appeared
That was the worst game I've ever played in my life. It changed me. But regardless though, there's still more Peter Pan games to cover, especially if we take into consideration one particular movie title, Hook by Steven Spielberg. Hook is a pretty classic retelling of the story of Peter Pan, directed by Steven Spielberg and with music by the famous John Williams. The movie is about a grown-up Peter Pan portrayed by Robin Williams, who has forgotten everything about his childhood, including the fact that he is Peter Pan. So now Peter must return to Neverland facing off against the villainous Captain Hook, saving his children and rediscovering his inner child. It was met with pretty wavering reception. Regardless though, I think it still goes down as one of the better retellings of the story, and is definitely up there as one of my favorite personal movies from my childhood. There's actually quite a few Hook games out there, so let's get started with the NES version of Hook. It's like I could see you looking straight at me and going, "It can't be that bad. How could it possibly be that bad of a game?" Well, I'll show you. I'll show you, I guess. Tinkerbell likes to tell you a lot of things. Tink, could you maybe, get out of the way? Pixies, am I right? Shoot, Tink, get out of here. I mean, how would you like it if it's Star Wars, there's just a freaking magic Yoda flying around the screen, just you couldn't read anything? It'd be stupid. The game starts you off on a map, which is a pretty interesting way of exploring the world. You move the compass around and choose a location, though it can be a little bit confusing later on. Let's hit up the pirate forest first. Not this again! Tink, get out of the way! Whoa! Before we start, I want to pose a philosophical question. Oh wait, need someone fancy here to read to us. Let's bring up Socrates, the biggest video gamer I know. What is a video game? Because if you said terrible collectathon where you get shot at and stabbed in like 2 seconds, then I guess you were right. The goal of the first level of Hook is to collect peaches. Peaches. So in Hook, you kind of just platform around these open-ended levels looking for a bunch of different things. They give you one of the most useless weapons I've ever seen in a video game. Just look at this, I can't do anything. He just constantly shoots at you and overpowers your basic attacks. Jeez, finally. It only took more than half my health. I mean, I don't understand why they would do that. Why would they give you such a useless weapon? Well, I mean, I guess they fixed the ducking issue. It's like a freaking contortionist now. Every level is pretty much the same thing. You're always just collecting things. They even have completely underwater levels and you're still just doing the same thing. Except for, now, instead of platforming around, you have to relentlessly hammer on the A button just to get anywhere. And to top it all off, you got stupid vortexes sucking you in. Good thing I got that clock, though. The only time the game remotely mixes it up is when you're flying or dueling. And there's only 2 duels in the entire game. A duel against Rufio and Captain Hook. Oh yeah, get him, get him, get him. Wait, what? Are they undressing? Avert your eyes, children. I've ruined your best shirt, Rufio. What are you gonna do about it? Is this thing even a bad guy? I can't tell. Yep, he's a bad guy. We now bring you a short word from our sponsor. Hello there. Do you like digging for treasure? Well, now you can. Wow! It really works! I don't even really understand the point to the scoring system. Are you gonna go and brag to your friends about your high score on Hook? Don't be that guy, man. Like I said before, it starts getting kind of weird to navigate with the compass later on. Eventually you start making your way through the entirety of the map, and soon enough you'll end up at Hook's ship. The levels definitely don't get any easier or less frustrating though. Hook. Would have been more interested in some Hooked on phonics if you know what I'm saying. Let's just move on to another version of Hook. How about the arcade game? So, this is Hook for the arcade. Did they forget the sound? Yeah, they don't have any sound for the entire intro. But I mean, in all honesty, who would need that? Who needs sounds to convey anything? I'm getting all the information that I need right now. Oh, hell yeah, man, that's what I was looking for. Hit me with that theme. This version of the game is actually freaking awesome. It lets you play as most of the iconic Lost Boys from the film, including Rufio, yeah! This game is a beat-em-up, tried and true. Waves and waves of disposable enemies for you to crush. Incredibly hard bosses that are designed to suck the quarters right out of your pocket. Let's not forget that this is co-op too. It's probably the best video game adaptation of Hook that there is. It's too bad that this game was seemingly lost to time, only to be released in the arcades. Believe me, one look at Peter's walking animation and you're sold. Aw yeah, work it. Wow, that might have actually been the first legitimately good Peter Pan game that we've played so far. There's still a couple more Hook games out there though, namely one developed by the company Ocean for the MS-DOS. It's an adventure game, you know, kind of like King's Quest or Secret of Monkey Island. It essentially just follows the plot of Hook, mixing in a bunch of adventure game mechanics like, obviously, puzzles. There's a lot of guessing and picking up random objects. The beginning of the game has you collecting a pirate outfit, which in the movie takes about a second, but here it takes up the first half of the entire game. Don't remember this place from I don't remember. Oh no, this doesn't look good. One of the problems that I have is that a lot of the items that you need to grab and are essential to your progress don't even really stand out that much. Like this rope over here. Didn't see that the first 20 times I went to this area. Captain Hook doesn't like it when you succeed. After a while, I had to consult a guide because I just couldn't figure out what to do and I was wandering around the same 5 screens for hours. Which, by the way, all of that on a loop of music about 15 seconds long. Over and over and over and over. Eventually you confront Hook and find yourself in the Lost Woods. Here you'll have to face challenges like repeatedly jumping off a cliff, a never-ending maze unless you go the exact right direction, a trading minigame. Yay! But believe me, all of that is definitely worth it for the end because you're greeted with hyper-realistic dueling! It was worth it. Pan, he's our man. If he can't do it, no one can. Just like the movie. You know, we've covered a lot of Peter Pan games today. There's undoubtedly more out there, but let's take a look at one more game. Hook for the Super Nintendo. This is probably the most popular version of the game and was definitely received the best. The game starts out with a pretty short-handed version of the movie's story. Daddy, is Grandma Wendy the real Wendy? Ha ha, Maggie, that's ridiculous. This conversation is so childish and not at all ironic. Oh no, but trouble as Captain Hook takes away Peter's kids. I guess it was a good thing he left this totally unlegible note. Let's go to Neverland. Now this game actually starts you off as Peter Pan, so you're not lollygagging around as Peter Banning. Oh, he's coming straight for us, get him! That'll show that little kid who's boss. The first level's supposed to act as kind of like a training session with the Lost Boys. It introduces you to a bunch of different enemy types and shows you what kind of mechanics you'll be dealing with. So you know, like swimming, running, and jumping. And if you find Tinkerbell, you can fly! Yeah! I am not the best at that though. The controls in this game are pretty slow and floaty. I mean, I guess you might expect that from a character like Peter Pan, but I mean, everything is slow. His walking is slow, his running is slow, his jumping is slow. The whole game feels slow. Even when you're flying, you only get like 5 seconds to fly. Whee! Yawn. Pro tip, don't get rolled on by Thudbutt. End of pro tip. At the end of each stage, there's usually some sort of boss. This time it's Rufio. Look out. Stop blocking my attacks. This guy isn't too hard. You just wait for him to lunge at you and then jump over him and hit him in the back. And before you know it, you're victorious and moving on to the next stage. Rufio's like, and Peter's like, da-na-na-na. Rufio gives you the Pan Sword, which makes you kind of feel like Link with the Master Sword when he has full health. Pew! Except you lose it when you get hit, and the only way to get it again is by finding it inside a level. And let me tell you, they put it in some of the most ridiculous places sometimes. Like this one, where you have to fly through a gauntlet of spikes just to get to the sword, and it's covered by an enemy that doesn't die. Alright, got the sword. No. It's like this game is out to get me, man. I don't know what to do. So not only do you have to get the sword without taking any damage, but then you have to go all the way back before all your fairy dust runs out and not get hit a single time because then you'll lose the sword. And then after all of that, you walk outside the door and they try to cheap shot you with frickin' bombs. How are you even supposed to do that? Another weird mechanic in the game is how you upgrade your health. The game is pretty easy overall, but it's really easy to die, especially if you only have 2 of these leaf containers. So just like with the sword, you have to find a leaf to upgrade your health. This will help you a lot later in the game when you come up against some really dumb enemy types. Like this guy who throws snowballs at you almost as fast as you can jump. And even if you do jump, the hit detection can be really weird. Boomerang sword guy. You suck. One of the worst enemies in this game are these tigers that turn you to stone. Okay, let me just bring in a guy who's gonna do some quick calculations for me and I'm dead. The variety in levels is actually pretty good, though there are some really strange and annoying level designs in this game. Like this one where a flame follows you around and lights your path, but the flame can hurt you. It's the only way to see, so you have to keep it around, but it makes for some really annoying deaths. What stands out most to me though is the sprite detail because the game still looks really good today. There are however some other versions of this exact game on some Sega consoles. They don't look as good as the Super Nintendo one.
16-bit arcade graphics.
You can't do this on Nintendo. Genesis does.
Whoa, nice graphics!
What Nintendo?
Depending on who you talk to, this version might sound a little bit better though. Feel that music. There's even a Sega CD version of the game that's fully voiced, has CG cutscenes, and the John Williams score.
Daddy, is Grandma Wendy the real Wendy?
Maggie, that's ridiculous. Now come on, children. It's way past your bedtime.
Yeah, you dumb, stupid, idiot kids.
You are the Pan. This is your sword.
I remember now. I am Peter Pan.
He's the Pan! He's the Pan! He's the Pan!
I'm coming for you, Hook. You can't stop me now. Finally, head to head. You're gonna like pay and stuff for taking my kids or whatever. Hiya! Rufio, I did it. I'm a hero. Rufio, look out! No. I've been defeated by Hook. Yeah, he sure was defeated. The final battle with Hook is actually kind of challenging. Hook sticks to you like a magnet, so if you can't build up your momentum in time, he just instantly kills you. Once you know what you're doing and you figure out the pattern, I guess he's not all that hard though. And then you get to see the ending, which is slightly reminiscent of the original ending from the movie. Daddy, look out! Man, who needs the movie when I got this? Eventually, Peter flies down with his kids and tells Tink to take them home. Dad! Don't worry about me, I'm Peter Pan. Hey! Oddly enough, there's another scene after the credits where Tink asks Peter for another adventure, and Peter's like, nah. Man, that's so weird. Even after all those games, I still feel like I'm forgetting something. Wait a second. It was never about how bad the games were. It was about the adventure, about being in a different world, trying to find that childlike wonder once more. Never having to grow up and do a bunch of adult things. It was about having fun. We're always so preoccupied with the next big thing, the next big technology, we almost forget to use our imaginations every once in a while. Wait a second! I remember now! Hey guys, thank you so much for watching my video. I want to thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. Thanks for watching for 2+ years now and doing everything that there is to do by giving likes and showing your support and everything like that. So thank you so much. As you can see, with all the stuff flying by in the background right now, I want to give out some special thanks. So, very special thanks to Harry Gaynor, Juan Holguin, Caleb Curran, and Lars. If you want to see some more videos like these, then don't forget to click subscribe and like, and all that fancy stuff that goes on in the background. If you're interested in watching some more videos, I got 2 videos for you right there. Mario bootleg games and the top 10 creepy Easter eggs in video games. Twitter, Facebook, you can follow me. So yeah, thanks for watching everybody, catch you next time.